This video represents a short technical overview of the Edan F6 fetal monitor with twins capability. I'll begin by simply powering the unit on. Once you've supplied AC power to the rear of the unit, or if you have a charged battery, the on and off switch is located on the right hand side of the machine. A simple press and hold will show a starting system, and once the machine is actually powered on and ready to go, you will hear an audible tone. Let's begin by taking a basic look at the screen layout, display layout on the machine. So we'll zoom in just a little bit here. The majority of the screen is occupied by the trace or menu window, which is this left-hand side, showing you your fetal heart rate trends as well as your TOCO. The message window is across the top. It can give you notifications and warnings, as well as access to your recorder, patient setup, and overall settings here. And I can scroll to those using the scroll wheel. So there's your patient area and your setup. The numeric window goes down the entire right-hand side. This provides numeric readouts for your fetal heart rate and TOCO, as well as fetal movement. It also allows you to set the volume of the fetal heart rate tones. You can see in this particular monitor, ultrasound 1 or US 1 is enabled, ultrasound 2 is off. Across the bottom of the unit is the status window, which gives you date and time, as well as an idea of the status of the various options of the machine. And I'll try and zoom in there a little bit to give you a better idea of that. If we look at the icon on the far left, you will be looking at the AC power indicator. It's a squiggly line. This shows that AC power is connected. If AC power were to be removed, you would get an X through that AC power indicator. The second icon over is the battery indicator. The battery indicator currently shows charging, which means it's cycling through its various stages of charge. If the battery was not present, you would have an X through the battery. And if the battery was actually operating on battery power, it would be solid green in the state of charge of the battery. So 100% charge, it would remain solid green. To the right of that, which is not shown, is the network indicator. When networking is enabled on the machine and it's plugged in, it will show that the monitor is online or offline. And that can either be through the Edan Central Station software or through the PC to monitor point-to-point software called Insight. To the right of that, there's an audible alarm indicator. You can currently see that the alarm is switched on. If it was switched off, you would have an X through it. To the right of that is the recorder status indicator. The recording is in process of printing, or it is not. Obviously, the X through it, the machine is not currently printing. To the right of that is print speed. You might also see print time remaining if you have it set to monitor a certain amount of time or print a certain amount of time. And to the right of that, again, is your date and timestamp.
This machine here is available with either single or dual fetal heart rate monitoring. You can actually also add the DECG IUP option to this device. There's an upgraded model or upgraded version of this unit called the F6 Express, which will also add maternal parameters. We're going to go over the F6 with twins is the one that we have here today. Currently it's in demo mode. This unit is designed to compete in the US marketplace against the Philips FM series monitors or the GE Core Metrics monitors. Aesthetically, you can see that it's a fairly compact unit. It weighs about 12 to 13 pounds. It's got a 10-inch color screen that's foldable. Various mounting options. It can be mounted with a flush wall mount or a pivot wall mount, and it can also go on a luxury trolley that we offer, which is called the MT803. It's got a fetal heart rate measuring range of 50 beats per minute to 240 beats per minute. It utilizes a 1 megahertz waterproof sensitive transducer. It's got signal overlap verification to differentiate between the twins' fetal heart rate, and fetal heart rate quality signal indicator as well to make sure that you've got proper probe position. It'll store internally 60 hours of built-in memory for seamless monitoring, and that data can very easily be transferred with our Insight software that comes standard with the unit, where it can then be backed up and archived on a server. So we've got this unit right now in demo mode so that we can see some history here of some fetal heart rate monitoring and some contractions as well. Just kind of going across the top here, you've got fetal heart rate 1, fetal heart rate 2. Again, this is a model that will monitor twins. You've got your toe pressure here to monitor contractions. There's a couple different ways that you can configure this unit based upon user preference. Right now we've got it set up where the tracings for fetal heart rate 1 or baby 1 and baby 2 will actually overlap. You can actually set this to offset it as well so that one will be lower than the other one. Again, that's a user preference. I find that most practitioners would like them to overlap so that if they glance at the screen they don't see something that would appear to be out of whack because the lines are offset. Down here is going to be your contractions. You can see here the movement, what's going on. The machine will operate on the toggle switch. As I move this trim knob, if you will, back and forth, it'll highlight various parts of the screen. It's very easy to use. You just highlight the area that you want, press the button. This is actually on this icon right here is your alarm review. So you can quickly click on that button and scroll through all the various alarms that it signaled, and you can set the alarm parameters obviously to your liking. This right here would be your print function. We actually don't have printer paper installed on this, but if you wanted to print, you would highlight that area. This is here your new patient setup is this icon. You can put in a patient ID, enter the patient ID here using the trim knob. Same thing with the name of the patient, enter the patient name, and you would just hit OK. This is your main menu screen. We'll get back to that in a minute. I just want to show you that you can scroll over and quickly just press and change the volume of the alarm, or excuse me, the volume of the fetal heart rate 1, or if you switch it to this one, fetal heart rate 2. We have this silenced just for the demo purposes so that it doesn't interfere with our audio. You'll notice that intermittently we will get an alarm that will sound here. And when you highlight down here on this icon, this will quickly pick up your different user IDs that you've entered. And this patient, we didn't actually configure a specific patient ID for this one, but it gives you a default. It assigns automatically a default number if you don't enter one. And the date, we started this exam actually yesterday, and it's been running for quite some time. So we can click on that and actually click over here to the scroll button and ask it to scroll through some of the history. Right now we're going backwards to see some of the contractions and what the fetal heart rates have been doing. Now we can switch it to forward, hit forward, and it'll come back all the way to real time. So again, this machine will store 60 hours of data, so the practitioner or the nurse or the doctor can come in and quickly review the history of this patient and make sure everything's okay, or if they miss some sort of event that they want to scroll back to specifically, they can quickly do that. If we jump back over here to the menu screen again and press the button, you've got a series of options here that you can set up. I always recommend that you first go to the system key, and we can enter in a password here to enter our user preferences. The password's 999, and that is located in your user manual as well. In case you ever forget it, you can refer to that. This is where you'll have some of your default settings, factory settings. You can clear your data. Right now we have it in demo mode, obviously. If we want to restore factory defaults, we could go here.
Now let's take a look at the hard buttons found at the front of the monitor. We'll start from left to right. The start button is pretty self-explanatory. That's the actual start monitoring button. To the right of that is a silence button. That functions to switch on or off the audible alarm. To the right of that, the auto 0 button. That's for the TOCO transducer 0. That will adjust the external TOCO contractions to a preset unit. To the right of that is the mark button. That will record an event. So it's similar to pressing the event marker button that is external to the monitor. To the right of that is the print function. That starts or stops printing. It's a toggle between start and stop. To the right of that, the channel button. That will switch between fetal heart rate from ultrasound 1 and ultrasound 2, or FHR1 and FHR2. And then the far right is the NIBP button. That will start or stop an NIBP measurement. Not all of these monitors are equipped with maternal functions, so that NIBP button is a function of a maternal capable unit. To the far right of that is the control knob. The control knob swivels left or right and will toggle through all of the user interface sections on the LCD screen. So for example, I'll turn it to the right here to the patient ID section and then depress it, which is a select button. You'll then see that the monitor brings up a patient information ID and name. So I can scroll and then cancel out of that. I'd also like to address the 3 LED illumination portions. The top is a charge indicator, the center is an AC indicator, and the bottom is a power indicator, showing whether or not the monitor is on or off. We'll now briefly discuss how to open and close the LCD screen. It is a flip-up 10-inch color screen. There's a locking mechanism across the top. To lower the unit, you simply lift up on the stanchion that holds the screen up and allow it to slide back and lock into place. To raise the screen, you will hit this latch return and lift the screen up. You will notice that it'll slide through several indents here that will allow you to stop the monitor screen at various angles depending on how you're working with the monitor. The 4th one here is all the way up. We'll go ahead and show you how to load paper on the unit as well. On each side of the machine's paper tray are 2 indents. You go ahead and push those in and release the tray itself. When we look at the paper, you will want the top of the paper to the left-hand side of the machine, and you want to make sure that you're looking at low to ascendingly high paper identification. So if the pack's upside down, you'll be looking at high to low. In this case, this is the 6th page of this. We'll go ahead and just take it just like it is, slide it in and make sure it drops in place, and then we can shut the paper door on it. It's very simple and easy to reload paper. We're now looking at the left side of the monitor. We'll show you how to plug in and remove your transducers and sensors. Very simple, and each is color coordinated. The blue fetal heart rate transducers have blue LEMO connections on the side of them. They will each plug in and they're keyed. There are 2 keys on the top here. You can see they go on the top of each connection. That's ultrasound 1. Here's ultrasound 2. And then to the left of that in green is the TOCO transducer. There's also room phono plug for your event marker, which is shown here. I'm not going to plug the event marker in because it is optional, but you can see it's a very simple operation there. As far as patient hookup, it's very simple as well. You would place your ultrasound transducers and the TOCO transducer onto mom with the included belts. They'd wrap around her, and then each belt has a several areas where the transducer securing point can protrude through the belt. Very easy. The F6 fetal monitor features a rechargeable lithium-ion battery that's good for 2 to 4 hours of continuous working time while on battery. and then requires 9 to 10 hours of charging time to 100%. The capacity is 4,400 milliamp hours, and the voltage is 14.8 volts. You can find this information on the battery on page 69 of the user manual. Maintenance for the F6 should be done prior to use at any given time. Check the connectors and cables to make sure that none of them have been damaged or frayed. Look at the ultrasound and TOCO transducers to make sure that they are intact and have not been dropped or stepped on. The overall quality and safety check of the monitor should be performed every 6 to 12 months by a certified biomedical engineer to make sure that no damage has been taken by the machine. The recording paper should be kept in low temperature, low humidity environments without exposure to direct sunlight or ultraviolet light. The monitor should be cleaned regularly, the monitor enclosure and screen as well. You can use soft soapy water, tensides, ethylate, or acetaldehyde. You can clean the screen with a dry soft cloth. We recommend microfiber to prevent scratching. The transducers can be wiped with a soft dampened cloth in a cleaning solution in water. They can then be air dried. There is a list of recommended cleaning products beginning on page 59 and going to page 63 of the monitor. It goes over complete cleaning of the transducers, disinfection, etc. So that's there for your reference. All of the discussion points and overview that we've provided you today are available in the user manual. It is very thorough. It explains the complete overview and usage of the monitor, cleaning, maintenance, troubleshooting, and really everything you need to reference for on-the-fly usage of the machine. If you do have any questions, you can always visit www.EdanUSA.com, EdanUSA.com, or give us a call at any time, and any of our technicians will be happy to support you.